Primetime News is your current affairs offering, giving you insights into local, continental and global headlines. Many thanks for joining me for the Thursday edition. I'm Michael Madimbo. In our lead tonight, members of the National Youth Council earlier today met with President Dr. Hage Geingob at State House. Here's more from the engagement.
Your Excellency, I'm pleased to report to you this morning that the board has recently finalized our 5-year integrated strategic business plan, which we will very soon present to our Honorable Minister and also file with our Public Enterprises Minister. Your Excellency, in our integrated strategic business plan, the board has looked at how to reposition the National Youth Council for the next 5 years to ensure that we not only remain relevant, but that we become truly competitive and we become a world-class leading youth coordinating body. To that end, Your Excellency, through our strategic plan, we really want to emphasize on operational excellence, strengthening the systems and processes of the National Youth Council. Your Excellency, in our integrated strategic plan, we have a focus on reinventing and strengthening our programs, our advocacy and our lobbying. That is then outlined clearly in our integrated strategic plan. Your Excellency, I'll briefly touch on our programs, which is our value proposition and what it is that we offer to the Namibian youth. Your Excellency, we have a program for the Namibian youth that is called Credit for Youth in Business, that was established in 2010 to support young people to expand their businesses. It targets existing young-owned business graduates of vocational training. Through this program to date, 330 young-owned businesses have benefited from this program to the value of 2.3 million. This program offers loans, training and mentorship to our young entrepreneurs, especially our young entrepreneurs in the informal sector. We have a program that is focused on horticulture. Under the horticulture program, it was established in 2020. We have set up in all 14 regions greenhouses. Through our agribusiness initiatives, we have benefited and empowered 84 young Namibians through agribusiness capacity building, monthly allowances. The value of that program, Your Excellency, is 3.6 million.
Against the backdrop of yesterday's opening of the legislative year, leader of the Landless People's Movement LPM, Bernardo Swartboy, says the reason for bills being withdrawn or revisited is due to the lack of public consultation from the ministry side. Let's have a listen.
Ministers come, they have not consulted or they are not able to answer questions that come as a result of a robust debate, and they retreat because they have not considered all the relevant socio-economic, cultural, political, sociological issues. They have not incorporated a total thought pattern about the impact and implication of their amendments or their laws that they bring to this House. When debates come, they take it back, and it has now to go back to legal drafters, it has to go back to the processes of consultations, and that takes a whole process of its own, because then it will have to come back again to cabinet to say, okay, it can go. And so withdrawal of a bill because the ministers could not answer or there was serious gap results in these types of delays, and one of the ministries that is very poor in public consultations is the Ministry of Justice. They are very poor. The other one that is also extremely poor in consultations is the Ministry of Lands and Agriculture. That's why these ministries are floating around, not rooted in the concerns and the aspirations of the people. So the president must ask that question to his ministers. Why are your bills either withdrawn or why do they go over to the next year? He must ask that question to his cabinet colleagues. That's the right platform, not here.
Moving on to matters pertaining to health. Minister of Health and Social Services Dr. Kalumbi Shangula earlier today gave assurances the ministry is better prepared if another COVID-19 wave were to hit the country. The minister revealed this during the handover ceremony of medical equipment by the Republic of Korea and Iceland to support the government's COVID-19 response efforts.
The medical equipment were procured with funding from the governments of the Republic of Korea and the Republic of Ireland. This donation of medical equipment includes 39 cardiotography machines, 51 suction machines, 31 incubators, 10 LED phototherapy units with accessories, 3 ultrasound scanners, and 1,000 ultrasound jars. They were initially procured to support case management activities during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic in Namibia, with specific focus on monitoring unborn babies of mothers infected with COVID-19, as well as preterm babies delivered as a complication of COVID-19.
On to neighboring South Africa, where floods triggered by heavy rains have killed at least 12 people, authorities revealed Tuesday. This after the presidency declared a national state of disaster.
The Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs Department, in charge of disaster management, spokesman Lungi Mchali, said the bad weather, which is expected to last for the rest of the week, struck the east, north and south, claiming lives in 4 of South Africa's 9 provinces. Mchali told AFP that the famed Kruger National Park, a tourist magnet bordering Mozambique and the largest reserve in South Africa, was badly affected, adding that Mpumalanga province in northeast South Africa seems to be the hardest hit so far. He said the death toll had risen to 12, up from 7 on Monday. The South African Weather Service noted that Kruger is crossed by several rivers which have been swollen by torrential rains since last weekend. Several camps inside the reserve have been evacuated as a precaution. Heavy rain started to fall last week after a cold snap in the middle of the austral summer.
When we return, we get insights as to why the Bank of Namibia increased the repo rate. Welcome to Primetime Biz, the segment that unpacks all things business and economics. For the upteenth time, Namibian consumers will have to tighten their belts once more, as Governor of the Bank of Namibia, Johannes Gabakap, earlier today announced that the Monetary Policy Committee decided to increase the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7%. Here is the Governor of the Central Bank with more details.
On the 13th and 14th of February 2023, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia held its bi-monthly meeting to decide on the appropriate monetary policy stance to be implemented over the next 2 months. To continue anchoring inflation expectations and safeguarding the PEC arrangement, the MPC decided to increase the repo rate by 25 basis points to 7% with immediate effect. This decision was taken following comprehensive review of global, regional and domestic economic developments. Let's consider the domestic developments that has informed this. Domestic economic activity continues to show a gradual improvement. The inflation rate remains elevated while the growth of private sector credit extension remains weak. the stock of international reserves remains sufficient to support the currency peg and meet the country's financial obligations. Domestic economic activity has continued to show a gradual improvement since the last MPC meeting. This expansion has been broad-based, mainly observed in sectors such as mining, agriculture, transport, wholesale and retail, tourism and communication.
The National Housing Enterprise NHE has urged Windhoek residents living in informal areas to register for the construction of affordable houses under the enterprise.
The Informal Settlement Upgrading Project is an initiative of the Minister of Urban and Rural Development, Erastus Uthoni, in conjunction with the City of Windhoek, National Housing Enterprise, and the Commerce Regional Council. According to a media statement issued on Tuesday by the National Housing Enterprise's Acting Manager of Corporate Communications and Marketing, Twafi Shafombabi, close to 574 houses have been constructed since the inception of the project in 2020. Prospective customers can register at the National Housing Enterprise's offices in Katutura and the City of Windhoek head office. According to the National Housing Enterprise, the target areas for housing construction are Freedom Land, Goriangap, Ochemwise, Greenwell Matongo D, Okuriangava, and Havana. Prospective customers are required to take along a title deed, lease agreement, certified copies of their identity document, latest payslips or proof of income, or a declaration from the police specifying source of income, certified copies of marriage certificate, anti-nuptial contracts, or latest municipal account.
That's where we leave it with the top news for this evening. Stay tuned for the economics roundup, followed by the weather forecast. Welcome to Sport Planet. European football leads tonight's slot. Barcelona host Manchester United Thursday in a matchup which has twice graced the Champions League final, but this week has the relative shame of taking place in the Europa League playoff round. The Catalans crashed out of Europe's premier competition at the first hurdle, while Manchester United finished runners-up in their Europa League group, leading their paths to cross. Both the Catalan Giants and the Red Devils arrive with high morale, but after they butt heads, one will be condemned to suffer another bruising European exit, their revival setback. On to Formula One. Lewis Hamilton's Mercedes team have reverted to a black livery for the new Formula One season. Hamilton and teammate George Russell took the wraps off their latest machine at the Team Silverstone launch earlier today. Now, the 30-year-old Hamilton recorded his worst championship finishing position in Formula One last year after the Silver Arrows failed to master the sport's new regulations. However, the grid's once dominant team will hope the move back to black, colors which carried Hamilton to a record-equaling 7th title in 2020, will take them back into championship contention. Stay tuned for your sports roundup. And on that note, we've come to the end of the midweek newscast. Many thanks for watching. Do make a date with us tomorrow for another insightful and informative primetime news edition. From myself, Michael Madimba, and the entire crew behind the scenes, it's good night.